Well, what is going on, legends? We are in another episode. We've made it this far. It's fucking unbelievable of Taste Talks. What do they say, lads? That if you can get past the first
20?
20, oh, 20. Fuck, we've got a while to go. Apparently, what is it? If you're in the 1% of podcasters, if you can get past the first 20 episodes. And we're at number, I think we're at number 5 or 6 now. So going strong, coming back, leaving. We don't know how to edit shit. So now we're at the Nest. A bit of a plug for these guys in Burleigh. Absolute legends. I think this is our home now. We feel super comfortable here. You like it here, bro?
Yeah, it's sick.
It's a pretty cool spot, eh? So make sure you're talking to the mic as well when you're ready to talk. Yeah. So when you talk, just fucking go.
Pick it up and
talk. The mic's good, but not that good. Look, without further ado, as we said, we are Taste Talks. We've got Jake Schoeman. All the way from South Africa. He does a bit of everything. He's a model. He works at Jagger. He's done a lot of surf lifesaving, stuff like that as well. He's an athlete. He's one of our good mates, and he's a fucking hot cunt and a legend. Welcome to the podcast, brother.
Mate. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Beautiful. Now, I think the last time we saw you, man, was months and months ago. Now, where have you been? What have you been up to? Tell us a little bit about yourself. How tall are you? Can we have a pair of your undies? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can have all of that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so last time we all saw each other was probably about 9-10 months ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I moved to Paris, start of June.
Amazing. For modelling?
Yeah, a bit of everything.
Little
change up, kind of like changing culture, chasing the fashion industry and like the kind of like harder music industry because it's
amazing.
Like deep there. And yeah, kind of just went through it. I'd never been to Paris before. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go give it a crack, and kind of lasted 3 months.
Now tell us, be honest, what do you think of Paris?
You know, I made some great friends, but it's not for me.
It's not for you, yeah.
No.
I think I found that in, now I've lived in, as I was saying to you before we started, I've lived in Europe probably for around 5 years on and off. Lived in Finland, lived in Portugal, the UK, and it's very dirty, isn't it, Paris?
Oh, it's
I don't know.
filthy.
Yeah.
There's people spitting everywhere. Like
just spitting, farting, and
yeah, it's fucked.
It's fucked. So when you're obviously, that was your home base in Paris, you met a few good mates. Did you travel around a lot? Did you go to Berlin, all that kind of stuff? Did you go?
Oh, I really wanted to. I was short on cash though.
So fair.
Everything's so fucking expensive, and I made it down to like Nice for like a couple of days to visit a family friend.
Yeah.
And went to London for some meetings, but other than that, I was literally just there grinding the whole time.
Yeah.
Just enough to make ends meet. So
yeah. What did you get up to there? Were you on like an internship? Were you just doing some shoots or?
Yeah, well, I had something lined up with an agency in London, and I was like, fuck, it's a 2-hour train ride. I can just jump over whenever I get a gig. And then things fell through there, kind of like some communication issues. So kind of like that went out the window, and then couldn't get signed elsewhere because I'm not like 6'4" with a 28-inch waist.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
really?
Everyone's there so fucking hot and like tall and
we're
skinny.
fucked, Johnny.
Yeah, no, I've never.
What about a 36er? Do they go for them at 5'1"?
We're all fucked.
I've got some
over
32s, old ones if you need.
I thought you were saying you're wearing them. I'm like, fuck off. Yeah, okay. That's hard, man. That's kind of leads me into, I really wanted to delve into that now. The fashion industry itself is super cutthroat and super hard to kind of get into, but the stigma behind modelling, you do hear, you know, a lot of good and bad kind of things around, you know, weight control and how you have to look a certain way. And I get it, it is modelling and stuff as well, but it is a pretty cutthroat industry, hey?
Yeah. I definitely think it's a lot more cutthroat, like overseas, Europe, for example, than it is in Australia. I mean, I must say, like everyone, I've had chats with heaps of like female models. It's a lot more difficult for them. And they've had agents kind of say to them like, hey, you need to lose some weight, or obviously you need to fit into sample sizes.
Of course, yeah.
So, like, you understand the conversation, but sometimes it's just not valid. Like, you get people that are healthy and that look great, and then you have to go and tell them to lose more weight.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, there's no healthy ways to do that after a certain point.
But almost like a UFC fighter, isn't it? Fucking hell. You got to pre-cut before your model shoot.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been pretty lucky in terms of like keeping my weight. I guess I don't have that. You know, I'm not shooting Gucci or
so
shit.
fair.
I'd love to, but realistically, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, those that are quite a bit slimmer than I am.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, Paris as well is probably one of the fashion capitals of the world, right?
Yeah.
Did you find that you were getting quite a lot of shoots and stuff over there, or you go over there and just realize, fuck, the competition's just tripled because there's so many people there?
Yeah. Oh, I had one shoot that I did for a lookbook. So like, no one ever saw the light of, like, it didn't see the light of day. We probably contacted about 15 agencies in London, 15 in Paris, and kind of didn't get much of an answer.
Yeah, wow.
So, you know, I think I'm lucky. I always kind of keep my expectations low. So
Yeah, of course.
it wasn't like a bummer, but obviously I was hoping for the best. I was like, fuck, this could be pretty cool. Like, if I get a big break here, then kind of the next couple of years is sorted.
100%. I mean, and at the end of the day, it's like same with us with our events. Like, you never know until you try, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like you'd probably be kicking yourself probably more if you didn't go over there and have a crack
100%.
than if you did. Look, let's lead into kind of the music side, the aspect of that. Now, obviously the modelling, you can tell we definitely know nothing about that, but we definitely do know a lot about music. Tell us a little bit about, you know, obviously you've rebranded yourself now. Tell us a little bit about that and you falling in love with music. And, you know, you've played a few of our gigs as well. And you've got obviously Mark Blair coming up on the March 10th as well. So to give us a bit of a rundown about why you love music and DJing and stuff.
So all the way through school, I played a heap of different instruments. And, you know, kind of like lost touch with it through probably about like after year 10. And then moved back here and kind of when I got involved in the industry here through the modelling, then with like Ned Kelly and you boys, I was like, fuck, everyone here DJs and looks so cool.
We fucking do it.
Yeah.
I was like,
Half of Gold Coast is DJ.
I was like, it's the sexiest thing ever. You guys always have like girls behind you. And
yeah. They're all paid for. They're all paid for. Yeah, I know about Johnny. He's got me and his brother.
Yeah, in the single days. So Ned ended up teaching me like some random New Year's. He was absolutely plastered.
Best time to learn.
Yeah, honestly. So I just got like a pair of DDJ 200s and just started like grinding it in my room like every day, probably a couple of hours. And I think the hard part was getting gigs. It's like so that the point to where people kind of like trust you enough to not fuck it up.
I think one of your first gigs was with us as well, wasn't it? Probably one of your first, because I remember you come to heaps of our events and you'd be the first one there, but you'd be practicing before or after, and I'm like, we got to get this fella a fucking
I loved
gig.
that.
Yeah.
Same, bro, more than anything.
Yeah.
But
Jake on the sound check and then straight into the next event. Like that's what Taste Club's all about, you know, seeing people's passion and giving them that opportunity.
100%.
I'd also grind the early mornings at yours.
True. That's right. Oh, and that's another thing. We obviously just had Lockie on before, but you don't drink either, hey?
No.
So we've had two people on today. Three absolute degenerate podcasts, and they both don't fucking drink. So maybe that's the key to happiness. I don't know. But you'd come to kick-ons, man, till like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., but not drink at all. It was crazy.
It was tough. The Red Bulls were really pulling through.
I think it's almost worse, like really.
Oh, for sure. It's not good for me.
Yeah, what is?
Yeah.
But it's all worth it. And, you know, we've got Mark Blair coming up. I don't know when this is coming out, but hopefully beforehand, we've got Mark Blair coming up on March 10th. Now, I didn't realise how he's one of your bigger inspirations for music. Now, obviously, you used to do a lot of the techno stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was kind of branded as a hard tech DJ, which was cool. Like, I had one super, super sick sweatshop.
Saw that.
Closing. So, it was like 30 minutes of, it was basically like 30 minutes of power, just the hardest shit that we had.
Sick.
And it went nuts. Like, someone pulled this, like, a stand down, like a stage with all the kind of like infrastructure and shit, and like it was wild.
Fuck yeah.
That was right at the end.
That can happen
I
real
actually
quick
caught that.
Where was it?
And I was looking into the crowd,
yeah.
and I was like, how is someone not dead?
Honestly,
I don't know how more equipment doesn't get broken there. Like when we play, I'm always getting smashed.
you're getting
like,
Well, remember one of the
yeah.
fellas, I forget he was playing at Sweaty. Shout out, Nick. We love you, mate. But one of the fellas was playing and someone chucked a full can from the fucking back of the room. And these only got little, what does he even have? RX1s or RX2s?
Yeah.
And someone picked a whole can and it managed to, or was it like even red wine or something, pegged it and it landed right on the decks, bro.
Yeah.
Just right on the decks and just fucked everything, bro. So they had to stop the decks. So I think, you know, it's good having those decks in with around the crowd, but it's also sometimes a bit of a detriment, eh?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's why he's probably got RX2s though, because if you pour those on some 3000s, that's a 6K down the drain. So
Yeah, 100%.
it's probably smart.
Look, we're super keen to have you on. Like, we've wanted to get you on ever since you were gone as well, man, because especially with the Mark Blair stuff, we know that you love his kind of music, but we think you suit a day party super well as well.
Yeah,
the whole vibe on the water.
Got you on the sunset, so good set time.
Good set time.
Session.
For sure. People out there to what to expect as well. As we said, we hope this comes out before, but we've got the old Fishos has turned into now yacht deck. So on the water, we're going to do crazy graffiti artwork and stuff like that as well, where we've got our mate Damo Versace to graph everything at the back on weed matting, and then same at the front, and then we've got another art installation out the front as well. I do want to delve into the whole Fred Again debacle. Now, we didn't say this at the last one, and this is going to he's going to be announced before this comes out, so we can kind of talk about it. But as Fred Again kind of does to let everyone else at home, running an event and promoting is fucking hard enough as it is. Fred Again's announced within 8 hours that he's doing a whole Australian tour. And not announcing tickets, 2 days out?
Yeah, we just announced yesterday that he did the Opera House. He was going to do the Opera House that night, and there was 150,000 people in the queue for tickets.
Crazy numbers. So
crazy. I think
for what, 6,000 people
event?
event?
Opera House about 5,000-6,000.
Fred Again or any bigger acts, right? It's always Brisbane or whatever.
Excellent for the Gold Coast to have such a well-renowned artist there. So that'll be mega. But tickets will be hotcakes.
Look, we're thinking it's going to be, we don't know, but we're thinking it could be around 25 to 30,000 people tickets. So, look, at the end of the day, as we know, Fred Again, you will be listening to this, but if you
shout out to Fred,
shout out to fucking Fred Again, mate. I'll give you a back tickle if you come play our event. But literally, in all seriousness, share this around if you can. We'd fucking love to get him on. If he's on the Gold Coast already and we've got an event the day after, back, it's like winning the lotto, but look, at the end of the day, if you could pop his head in or at least even support our event, that'd be amazing, because it's pretty fucking hard to do it as is, let alone to compete with that
I wonder if
monster.
he's come across Mark Blair, because they're both from the UK. They're both in the, I'd say, underground scene. They probably would know each other
I wouldn't
at some
say
point.
Fred Again's underground, but I mean, I guess he used to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, never know. I mean, fuck, we could even hopefully get Mark to shoot him a message or something, but I don't know. In a perfect world, look, Fred Again, we love you, but we love to hate you too, mate. Thanks for ruining our day. Nah, we'll be right.
Didn't your mum offer him to cook her?
Oh yeah, mum is also recently single, Fred, and also he's great at cooking up a baked spud and a fried lamb. So if you're keen, she'll fried lamb's brain. So if you're keen, she'll sort you out. Let's get into the first little segment that we like to do. But firstly, I just want to say a big shout out to our sponsors, Easy Seltzer. My favourite one is actually the coconut at the moment. I know you don't really ever see coconut seltzers, but shout out to Dan. These are around every bottle shop nationally, and they are really, really easy to drink and a really good price range as well. So shout out to our sponsors. Let's get into the little news article. What do you got for us, Johnny?
What do you got?
Right in the newsroom over here. We've got a story here from America. It's actually a new Guinness World Record. A couple in America from Maryland have set the record for most amount of gigs attended in 1 year.
Holy
so
hell.
If you don't know, just go overs unders on what do you reckon it would be for
how many
1
gigs?
year. How many
music events?
Music gigs. So some of the ones were like Pitbull, Beyonce. So averaging at $70 per ticket per show.
Fuck. Surely they knew a
they
promoter.
They spent $20,000.
Surely they got a discount off Jake.
Yeah.
I'd probably say let's go 365, considering one a day.
That's
one a day.
Insane.
One a
that's
day.
Unsustainable.
No, it's
well, you could do two in a day.
Yeah, true.
And then have a day off.
Have a day off.
That's a
10
lot.
minutes in each.
So yeah, these are big concerts. Billy Joel, Beyonce, Pitbull, Sam Smith, that sort of
Fred
thing.
Again.
Fred Again.
What do you reckon, Jakey?
What do you reckon?
200.
Yeah.
It's pretty
200's
close.
reasonable.
135.
135 is still a good effort.
135. So they've just set the record for that.
Fuck, that's a good effort.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have a go at that next year.
Yeah. We should get them over to Australia.
Maybe
They'll
we
probably
need-
get every taste club.
Maybe we need Jakey to send some feet pics so we can get a bit of money on our side so we can start going to gigs.
Don't get me
Have you ever thought about doing something like that?
Yeah,
The old feetfinder.com.
Yeah, I was recently thinking about doing like OnlyFans.
Yeah,
Like,
so fair.
you should.
Real recently. Nah.
Yeah.
I
Can
don't-
we do it?
We'll be a manager. Take 10%.
Yeah.
10% each.
Timmy will take the
No,
photo.
he's got Carleen. She'll sort it out.
Yeah,
So have you actually thought about doing that? Because I'm like,
Yeah.
I'd love to get like a talk into someone doing OnlyFans because it intrigues me. It's a world that I like.
Yeah,
I've never signed up or anything, but
just a bit of research.
Yeah.
No, this was like a very recent kind of like discussion that I was having with myself and my mom. Like I'm real close with my mom, so any of my thoughts.
Tattoo,
like,
brother.
Yeah, I don't have one on my mom. But yeah, so I was like, fuck, it'd be pretty nice to just put your cock out there and get paid.
100%.
Like, if you can buy your mom a house in a year's time. Like
That's what I mean.
You know, like why not?
I mean, do guys earn as much money as the girls?
I
Like,
think
how does it work?
Yeah,
Is it,
some of them. But yeah, I don't know. I did some research into it, had a look at like some other creators and kind of what they're doing.
yeah.
I just don't have it in me.
You don't have it in
I
you?
don't have it in me.
But I mean, do you have to do face? Like, you could just be a stunt cock or whatever they call it.
Well,
Isn't
yeah.
that
porn
That's
site.
what it's called. Like, what do they call them? A cock, like a stunt cock, eh? In the pornos, they're called stunt cocks, apparently.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
What a segue.
Yeah. I remember a lot of my mates back in the day, this is a little kind of off topic, but not really, but would we were all young and, wanting money and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of them would get hit up from the All Aussie Boys. Do you ever remember that website? It was like this website where like a lot of my mates would get hit up and they're like, oh, come and do like a model shoot. And then they'd come and then they'd get naked and then the model shoot would kind of happen. But they'd ask them if they wanted extra, like they'll pay them extra if they like put their dick in like a glory hole. And like they'd pay him like an extra $100 or whatever to put the dick in the hole, but they wouldn't tell him who's behind the hole. And it was like a gay bloke, a gay bloke's like dating like website. But then I don't know if we have to cut this out, but whatever.
I just watched a Ross Kemp episode on human trafficking last night, and this is way too fucking close to that.
Anyway, long story short, it fucked them up mentally. But yeah, a lot of them did it. So
Is that what
if
happened
all Aussie boys hit you up, bro, fucking stay away from it.
Or go ahead.
Or go ahead on it.
First,
Yeah.
Not talking from experience
for
or
the
anything
plot.
to me there.
Yeah. What were we going to say? I was going to say something super. Oh, yeah. One last thing before we get on to track of the week. Now, we kind of reconnected as well over clothing. Obviously, you do the fashion stuff as well. But, we're really delving into the creative space of doing our own clothing.
We're in the early stages of, figuring out branding. And
Fingering?
Figuring. No, we're off that topic, brother.
Sorry. Yeah, figuring out our branding and we've done obviously a few Taste Club merch shirts, but we didn't market them at all. But I think for me as well is I personally think, and I know you guys agree, that doing just a merch and throwing out, they're not really caring is completely different than doing an actual clothing line with its own entity, but having it with Taste Club.
Attached to Taste.
Alfred's do it super well. Street X do it super well. We've got Turtle that do it really well, and progressively we want to do that, and you're helping us out with that. And I've got a few designs to show you a bit later on, but it's definitely a space that you really love looking at. Hey.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, kind of also I was like studying at Bond. I got into the fashion scene through modelling and all of that, and all my mates are in the industry. And after Paris, I actually went back home, studied it for a little bit, and started working on my own stuff. But I feel like also working on it with mates and like getting a whole heap of other ideas. It's not just like one dimensional.
100%.
You're not just like, oh fuck, I only make suits or only make dresses or whatever it is. It's like you make a whole array of things that kind of like appeal to different people in different markets. And
For sure.
I'd like to say that I understand the like music and rave scene quite well. And
Definitely.
like,
The aesthetic of it.
the aesthetic of it and streetwear. So
Yeah.
it's definitely something that I hope I can help out and like
Fucking
us
oh,
all
we
kind
will,
of,
man.
like,
We all do it
get
together.
involved
Yeah.
with,
I think
so-
it's a cool thing as well that like even, worst case scenario, we just make some sick clothes that we can fucking wear all the time,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? And I think that's cool, actually advertising your own brand while you're wearing it. Especially this day and age, people are paying $70, $80 for a t-shirt or jorts and that's a normal price. So it's definitely a market that we want to get into, and we're going to have to get into it. We'll put a few photos up, but we've got a branded thing that I'll show you at the end. It's Puka. So it's Puka, and it's going to be, say, like presented by Taste Club. And we'll kind of go from there. Look, we're going to finish it up soon, but we're going to finish on track of the week. Now, we'd like to get all our guests that come in to just give us a track of the week, a SoundCloud download, so everyone out there can download it, and just kind of why you're loving it, bro.
Grab it up.
All right, I'll
What's the title and who's the artist?
It's called Push the Button.
Yep.
Push the button. Yeah.
Yeah, by some of my boys back in South Africa.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
Nice.
Called
Plug.
the Lost Boys.
Lost Boys,
Lost
sick.
Boys.
Lost Boys SA. And
Genre?
it's sort of like acid house.
Nice.
That's
Indie
hitting at the
dance.
moment.
I love acid house,
Yeah.
bro.
It's a little bit of.
That's your
of
thing, isn't it,
everything.
Tim?
It's my thing, I reckon. I reckon it's my thing, yeah.
Ghetto tech, acid house.
Something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
something a bit different.
How many
unique.
different genres are there now?
I reckon you could say
Endless.
anything and I would be agree. Like, I've never heard of ghetto tech.
Yeah. But yeah, that's them.
Chuck it on, brother. Let's have a
Oh,
listen.
I'm putting it
Just
on.
Doesn't need to be in the mic. Just for us.
Yeah, because we're going to have it replaying over it.
Okay, got you.
This is cool. Were you playing this at the Mark Blair show?
Yeah,
fuck it.
that's
This
the
is
vibe.
perfect.
Yeah.
Especially
Cool.
Sunday afternoon,
Yeah.
sun going down.
Really industrial as well.
Couple talented guys.
Really industrial. It's got that Melbourne feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can see Rory Marshall spinning this.
Yeah, literally.
Diary hanging out his mouth.
Yeah. 6. Up to 15 hours set. Yeah, that's
Old school Elsie
That's
vibes
cool.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Fuck yeah.
Felt that?
That's cool. So who are these
Yeah.
guys again, bro? Just turn it off and we'll give them a quick shout out and we'll chuck their plug at the bottom as well.
Yeah, they are the Lost Boys SA.
Lost Boys SA. All right, definitely have a look at the Lost Boys SA. There's I've actually seen quite a bit of talent come out of South Africa,
Yeah, it's
other than Diane Wood in recent times. So fucking 100%. Get around the boys, and we love having you on, bro. March 10th, Mark Blair playing at Sunset. You fucking keen?
I'm so keen. Sunset
Keen.
time is my shit.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't got a ticket as well, look, we're doing them super cheap for this one. It's a super intimate space and we just want to make it about a day party and getting back to why that people do Sunday sessions.
Bringing back the Sunday.
It's lucky on the Gold Coast and we
Yeah.
just hope, everyone after Fred again's going to roll through.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God.
Well, let's make sure. Yeah, we got Mark Blair, so it's going to be a pumper. He's playing for 90 minutes, so
Ooh.
that's going to be an
gonna
absolute
be a heater.
Be a heater.
Yeah.
Get around and just watch
Production.
those toilets for Jake in the Glory Hole. All Aussie boys are our main sponsors, so let's get in.
Cubicle 3, 8 o'clock.
Thanks. This is Taste Corks and we'll see you at the rave. Cheers, brother.
Beautiful.